And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, September 7th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Yes, a Wednesday morning, cloudy and overcast, some fog in places, I understand, but we're okay here in Lebanon, Tennessee. And it is my pleasure to introduce Bob McDonald this morning, who's with us live in studio. Robert L. Bob McDonald, President, CEO, Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. Bob, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Great to see you. Good to be with you, and appreciate the warm welcome. When I came through the door, there you were at the steps waiting for me, and I thank you very much for that.
Come on with my Cedarstone cup.
Yeah, I know. I see that Cedarstone cup.
My Cedarstone pen.
You got your pen. You got your green shirt.
Green shirt to go with your colors.
Yeah. And you got a green folder. So,
I love my
again,
sponsors.
You know, you're a chameleon. I know you'll be wearing a different color one day this week. That's okay. I get it.
You get it. Well, how you been?
Doing great. I was thinking about you last week. Before we came on the air, we were talking about your Reds, and Robert and his fiance Mallory went to the St. Louis game, the Cardinals game this past weekend with her family. Her family goes to that game every year when the Cardinals and the Cubs play there in St. Louis. And so Robert was telling me that the Cardinals is one of the oldest teams. I think he told me they started in 1892. And they have like 10 or 12 World Series championships. But it also made me remember when Susan and I went to Boston a number of years ago, we saw a Red Sox game. And I remember learning there that the Boston team kind of got started from your Reds program. Somebody who was involved with the Reds, one of their owners, took a team to Boston, and that's how the Red Sox got their name from the Reds.
Huh.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So glad I could teach you that. You told me last week you've been a Reds fan since back when they were when the Nashville team was a farm club for the Reds.
Right.
Yeah. Do you get up to a game at least one a year to the Reds?
I've been to one game, went to one game at Crosley. Actually, it was a doubleheader at Crosley Field in 1969. I went to Riverfront several times in the 70s, and I've been one time to Great American Ballpark.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been a few times, and I even saw the Reds play in Atlanta a time or two.
Oh, good. Well, for Christmas one year, I'm going to give you some Reds some Reds tickets.
Reds tickets.
I just got to make sure I know when you can go.
All right. Okay. Well, what else is going on with you?
Well,
banking is good.
Banking is good. It's fun to see everything going so well. I told you last week that we had just recently met with the Lebanon Special School District principals to kick off the 25th annual Teacher of the Year program. We've got the county school principal meeting coming up soon, but with all the new school year, I remember I know about 2 weeks ago we kicked off the new year at Cumberland University, and they had a program that's called each year Convocation, which sort of the official kickoff of the new academic year. President Dr. Paul Stum did a great job, and his team did with that program each year. Just a lot of just great looking students, and exciting year going on over at Cumberland. And so it's just our community is alive and well, isn't it?
Well, that is great. And of course, people are still borrowing money.
They are. Yeah. They we had one of our board committee meetings yesterday. It's called Asset Liability Management. It's where we look at where we focus on the financial side of the bank. We look at loans and deposits and how we price each of those, and we continue to see rates increase coming. We're expecting another increase this month when the Fed meets. I think it's the 21st and 22nd. So, everyone's predicting about a half a point to another 3/4 point increase in rates, and they're determined to get a handle on inflation, and they're going to stay on it until they feel like that it's well behind us. And but our economists who were on the phone with us yesterday, they're predicting some rate decreases in 2023.
Really?
Yeah. So we'll see if that pans out. It'll be in the second half of the year, they say. But that would be welcome news to borrowers. It'd be welcome news to the stock market. But right now we're Brownie Ventries, who you know is one of our bank founders and directors and board members, and he serves on this committee. And our economist was talking about how that there may be a recession and there might be some difficult economic times. But Brownie made a good point that not so much the case here in your listening area. Our market, as we talk about, is very strong. It's very diverse. And when we had our recession of 2008, it was not near as bad here as it is other places of the country. So I think everyone who we talk to, all of our customers, they're in good shape. They're prepared. Should we see that? But overall, our economy remains very strong.
Well, since you're speaking, and we're nearly out of time, but I got to mention one other. I think he was a founder too, Dr. Bancroft O'Quinn.
Yeah.
Ear, nose, and throat specialist.
Yeah.
I've seen him a few times with my ears.
Yeah.
And he mentioned my program here, and that he tries to listen on Wednesday, especially to hear you.
Yeah, well, he's a great human being. We met Dr. O'Quinn when we first moved to town back in late '94, early '95, and Robert had been having some ear trouble prior to our moving here. And right when we moved here, everyone said, you need to go see Dr. Bancroft O'Quinn. And we did. Robert had had 7 ear surgeries up to that point. But after his visit with Dr. O'Quinn, he had one more ear surgery, and he's had no trouble since. So
well, that's great.
He's a great human being and a great doctor. And
mention your free checking real quickly.
Free checking, free checks, free online banking with bill pay, free ATM or debit card. You can use it anywhere in the world, and it's free. And so we
totally free.
It's totally free. And for your listeners who don't bank with us, we would be delighted and honored for them to come in and talk to us about that and other banking products.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks,
today,
Coleman.
Bob.
Have a great day.
Have a great one. Bob McDonald, President, CEO, Cedar Stone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. Well, I want to welcome Morgan Beatty today from the UT Extension Office. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is the first Wednesday of September. The first Wednesday, we always feature the UT Extension Office. Probably have done that every first Wednesday with I'll bet there hadn't been more than half a dozen exceptions over the years. Every once in a great while, something has come along, and could y'all come next Wednesday? I need this Wednesday. But that has not happened just a handful of times. It's good to see you again. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great.
Well, you know what they say, and it comes out of East Tennessee, used to an awful lot. I don't know whether John Ward's the one invented it or not, but it's football time in Tennessee.
Oh yeah, no, yes, and that has made a great start to the fall because it was a good first game.
And seeing you on Facebook a little bit,
yeah.
I know where your true colors lie.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
You are big orange all the way.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm like a third or fourth, fifth, maybe generation UT fan. It kind of runs in the blood at this point.
Well, you got to be pretty happy with the start.
Oh yeah, it was that was an exciting start, fun.
Well, you play Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh, I believe.
This week. Yeah, that may not be as exciting. We'll see. I hope so. I have faith in them, but you never know. No. Yeah, because my prediction will probably be off. I'm just hoping that we, play with some steam because you never know. Sometimes you get really good and excited Tennessee, and sometimes you don't.
Well, I've got to mention this, and since Mayor Bell is in the building, he'll probably hear this if he hadn't already. I was kidding a few people the other day. Tennessee won handily in their game. It was at 56-10, I believe.
Yeah.
But I said Vanderbilt won their first game 63-10. They were both blowouts.
Yeah.
And I think both coaches called off the dogs in the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah.
What are you here to talk about today?
I guess the 4-H program and
let's talk about your 4-H chicken shack at the fair. Because I think everybody let's put it this way: everybody I've heard from that had a concession booth or sold food, especially, had a good time and maybe a record year.
This was like the best year ever. We have, and if you're listening, we have a 4-H chicken shack at the fair. It's our our yearly main fundraiser that we do and we do it at the fair, and we smoke chicken leg quarters over a pit that we have out back behind the chicken shack. And we do chicken leg quarters and then some pork loin that we make into sandwiches with Bay's bread. So, that's what we do. This was the best year we've had since I've been here, which I've only been, this is my 6th fair since moving here and starting as a 4-H agent, but it's the best that we've done it's as a fundraiser.
When you have that many people, as we have, record attendance,
Yep.
and you have a good commodity, which you have with the food,
Yeah.
everybody wants to eat, you're going to do good.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just, there's just so much foot traffic. It just it just helped, and we started a few years ago doing the banana pudding, and we make that banana pudding. That's not like we actually make it over the stove and, with the flour and sugar and melt the butter in and all that. And so we make the banana pudding. So it's pretty good. And, that helps. I think that's helped the last few years. Cause after the dinner time frame, sometimes you get someone that comes and just wants a chicken leg, I guess, as a snack. It's fair or whatever. But we start selling, once the dinner time frame's over, we're just selling banana pudding and drinks until 10 o'clock. So that's kind of helped us a little bit too. But this was a wonderful year.
What do you use that money for? Probably a number of things.
Yeah, it goes back into our general fund, since our general fundraiser. But we use it for supplies for various programs. And, because we have there's some programs that we do that we don't require a fee or anything like that to participate. So,
but still has some cost involved.
Yeah, we'll still have some cost involved, because maybe we provide snacks, or maybe, we need to buy some supplies for something, and we can use those funds for that. Sometimes we have programs that maybe do cost and someone can't afford to pay that cost. Well, we have enough, we pay for it for them.
Good.
So, those are kind of the big things. We have another fundraiser we do later in the year that provides scholarships for camp. So we don't typically have to use it for camp, but we can if we need to.
Right.
But just kind of a number of things that support the 4-H program and our supplies and our programs that we're doing throughout the year.
All right, time for us to take a break. Morgan Beatty with UT Extension offices with us. We've got more coming up here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:17. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota, Red Max complete inventory of weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic's busy 24 through the Hickory Hollow area. You got all that traffic coming in from Rutherford County, coming down I-40 through Wilson County. Pretty much typical through Mount Juliet. All that traffic gets a little bit busy going westbound on I-40 into Hermitage. Hey, with a huge demand for dental assistants, Dental Staff School will train you, help you get a job. Google Dental Staff School. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Bob McDonald with Cedar Stone Bank. For 17 years now, we've been serving our communities in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. We can serve you in the way that best fits your needs. We have all the banking technology, we have beautiful buildings, but more importantly, we have great people. On behalf of our board of directors, I thank you for banking with us. If you don't currently bank with us, please come by and visit us in any of our locations. It would be our pleasure to talk with you about how simple banking is simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Contact Stephen Lowry Land Clearing for all your land clearing needs. Whether it's clearing trails for ATVs, reclaiming pasture, or clearing your land of brush and trees, Stephen Lowry can get the job done. He works closely with customers, adjusting to make changes as you want. Steve Lowry will give you quality work at a price that you can afford. He will also beat any written estimate. Call Stephen Lowry at 615-970-8154 for all your land clearing needs. That's Stephen Lowry Land Clearing, 615-970-8154.
Hi everybody, Tommy Bryan. Join me along with Harry Stafford, Bob Lee, and Joe Gardner as we bring you Lebanon High School football. Brought to you by Bates Ford, Bakes and Hooker, K. Maynard Insurance, Lebanon Police Chief Mike Justice, Wilson County Sheriff Robert Bryan, Kenny Salas, Sports World, and Wilson Bank and Trust. Murfreesboro Siegel comes to Lebanon Friday, September 9th, pregame at 6:30 on WANT and WCOR.
Coleman and Company on a Wednesday. Morgan Beatty is here with the UT Extension Office. Now, you were saying you wanted to talk about 4-H this morning, and we only got as far as your chicken shack at the fair, but I guess too, you I'll say it for you, and you can say it again, but you would definitely want to thank everybody that came by and participated, because it really helps what you do.
Oh yeah, 100%. I have volunteers that help me cook chicken every day. There's volunteers that came and just staffed the chicken shack, and that's, serving people through the window. Volunteers that helped with setup and tear down and clean up.
You have a lot of 4-Hers involved with that?
Yes. Yep, a lot of 4-Hers.
Well, they're learning how to serve in that respect.
Yes, they are, and it's a good thing for them to get to come and be a part of that, I think. And kind of see how that.
What else are you doing? Are you getting into some of the schools by now?
Yes, last week was our first, September 1st, Thursday and Friday, my first trip back to the schools since they let out for the summer. And I went to what school was I at last week? Gladeville. Mm-hmm. I was trying to remember. I was at W.A. Wright yesterday, and I'm going back to W.A. Wright today. But I was at Gladeville 5th grade last week. So we're officially back in schools. They're filling out their enrollment, learning about the poster contest that we're going to do next month.
Now, this is strictly voluntary on their part, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I mean, nobody, unless it's their parents, forces them to be in 4-H. So hopefully they like what you do. And I know from talking with y'all and knowing the program, there's a world of opportunity available, but they sort of have to be sold on it, don't they? Yeah,
we do. We go into the schools, and as long as we're there in the classroom, they have to participate in the classroom. And as far as like the poster contest, some of them will be required to do it and some of them won't. It will just depend. Sometimes the teachers make it for a grade just because they can, or extra credit or whatever. Some of them won't. So some will have to do it. Some will not have to do it. Mm-hmm. Typically, when speeches roll around, they'll all have to do it because a lot of them will get grades because it hits their standards for public speaking and for listening and all those kinds of things in 4th and 5th grade. So yeah, a lot of them will have to participate in various ways in the classroom. But if they choose to be in 4-H outside the classroom, that's optional. But the school clubs is kind of how we hook them. Is we get, we meet them in the 4th and 5th grade classrooms. We do the contest. They get ribbons. They get excited about it. They might go to camp over the summer. And then from there, they'll be like, oh, I want to do livestock, or I want to do horse or poultry or whatever. So that's how we hook them, interest them, and engage them. So 4th and 5th grade, and then they, will stay with it for a while.
There's really a lot of opportunity, if that's the way you want to describe it. A lot of choices.
Yes.
You don't have to do everything, but there's there's surely one or two things there that you would really like or like to learn about, I would think.
Oh yeah, we're really well rounded, I feel like, because we have a lot of the animal projects. We've got a horse program in our county, a livestock program, and then we've got poultry. So we've got all the animals, and then we have a sewing group, and we have a line and design group, which is just our fancy name for arts and crafts, line and design, but that's like a statewide term for that. So we have arts and crafts and sewing, and we've got a cooking program, our archery program. It was really good archery program.
You have boys that get involved in cooking, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I have a lot.
Probably wouldn't have been as much 50 years ago. But
maybe not, but I incorporated some grilling this year, so they got really invested and liked it. Which we have an outdoor meat cookery team or grilling team, and they just competed. The opening day of the fair, they competed. So, but because of that, we have all those little grills and stuff. So I've been doing this cooking class, and I was like, we have all these little grills. It's kind of a dangerous game, play a scary game, doing grilling with the younger kids, the like 4th and 5th grade kids, versus my grilling team. They're at least in 6th grade, so they're a little older, but it was fine.
Have to be careful.
Yeah, nobody got set on fire. Yeah, everybody was like, they dumped their coals right. Everyone got, had done meat off the grill. So it was fine, but it was cool. They really enjoyed it. cooking, and they're just like little charcoal grills, so tabletop grills. But they enjoyed it and they thought it was really cool. So I think some of those boys will come back.
Do you enjoy cooking yourself?
Yeah, I would say so. My major in college was food science. So, and I went several years and I didn't really use it. Yeah. And so, at University of Tennessee. And then I went to Tennessee State University. It's how I ended up in Middle Tennessee for my master's, where I did a master's in it was ag education, but my thesis was on poultry safety. So everything just kind of came full circle and ended up a 4-H agent doing food science classes and poultry.
Well, I didn't realize you had your master's. When are you going for a doctorate?
I don't know. They keep my advisor keeps hinting at maybe working on that sometime, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to go back to school again, but I don't know, maybe one day.
Well, that's beside the point. That's your
Yeah.
decision. But you have you're probably in a position to be one of the best to do 4-H because you grew up. Your daddy did that here, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Dad started here in
right.
85 or 86.
Then I mean, it just, I guess, almost second nature for you to kind of, in a way, follow in his footsteps and so on. So
it is, yeah.
I think you've done well, and no doubt because of that, there are younger people who look up to you, who listen to you, who you're probably a role model for.
Oh yeah, the most exciting thing I think is when somebody tells you that they want, one of the kids, they tell you that they want to be a 4-H agent when they grow up. Because, sometimes the little kids will tell you that, but it's the kids that are older, that are in that middle school, going into high school, thinking about what they want to do with their future, and how they're going to spend their high school preparing for it. And they're like, I want to be a 4-H agent. And that's the best compliment, because I feel like you have to have if you have a good 4-H agent, it makes that job, really desirable.
Is there an advantage to going to University of Tennessee to do what you do? Could you do as good a job if you'd gone somewhere else?
I
and
think
you did
you
go
can,
somewhere
yeah.
else to Tennessee State, but
I
I mean,
think I'm the
you had
only
4 years at UT?
Yeah, I think I'm the only one. I think that the only one in my office that went to UT. Everybody else went to various places. And I think the biggest thing is you have to have a degree in agriculture or a family consumer science degree or something, in education that kind of relates. So, and, as long as you go, I know that there are a lot of 4-H agents in Middle Tennessee. East Tennessee, I don't know them as much because I don't see them as much. But the Middle Tennessee people, we see a lot because we collaborate and do a lot of things together. And I know a lot of them have got degrees from MTSU and from Tech, so you don't have to go to UT. I think the benefit of going to UT is just because extension is through UT, so you kind of get to know those professors and specialists and build those relationships, but you don't have to go to UT to do a good job and to know your stuff.
Well, we've got about 2.5 minutes left here. Anything else you want to talk about your program that you're doing or hoping to do? I mean, this goes pretty much through the school year, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, all the way through May.
Yeah.
So we are, and I don't know if you knew this or not, but Leah left. She went to, you may have saw on Facebook.
Leah
Piper.
Yes, I did.
Yep, she went to Red Bowling Springs High School in Macon County. That's where she's at now. It's a little closer to home, so I think it was a move that it's just easier for her to be closer to home and all of that, not as late of drives and things.
Well,
so.
now she was working pretty closely with you.
Yes, we had the same job. We just sort of focused on some different areas. She was doing horse and sewing and a few other projects.
Well, now, is there somebody to take her place?
Not yet. Probably in a few
looking for
months,
somebody.
yes. Yeah, so we have an open 4-H agent position. Hasn't posted yet. Hopefully it will post soon. And, yeah, you get to come work with me.
Well, the two of you would come out here together sometimes.
Yeah.
Of course, I've known you since you were a little baby.
Yeah.
But Leah, she just didn't talk as much as you did.
No.
I didn't get to know her hardly.
Yeah, she was quiet. She was a lot more quiet.
Well, we certainly wish her well in Red
Oh
Springs.
yeah, for sure. We miss her, but she's excited.
Well, in the last minute here, tell me, how's Lucas doing?
I think he's doing fine. I hope he's doing fine. I haven't seen him in a few days.
I saw him at the fair a time or two, I think, but about all we did was speak in passing, and he didn't come here too much. But how do y'all? Does he make the assignments?
Yeah. Well, what we do is it's like Ag FCS 4-H, Ag FCS 4-H, and see, there's two. Well, right now there's just one of me, but there's two of us in the program. And me and Leah just always came together.
Okay.
For the 4-H,
that means it
but
could possibly be if you got 6, and if each came one time, that's just twice a year.
right.
So
So
you don't
we
exactly do that, but you take your turn.
It's like, yeah, it's just the way it rotates every other, and then whoever the two agents are that are, like the two ag agents and the two FCS agents, they decide who's going to come, or I don't know how they do it, but
have a great year, and we'll see you next time, as we say, whenever that is. And
Yeah,
thanks
next
for being
couple
with
months.
us today. All right.
Awesome.
Morgan Beatty, UT Extension Office. That's part 1 of Coleman and Company. Stay with us for more. FM 98.9.
And to 7:31, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and that regular oil change, $34.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal. 1673 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic still moving 24 through the Hickory Hollow area. Traffic's looking good as far as interstate accidents. Still a lot of radar out here, especially coming in from Wilson County on I-40 through Mount Juliet this morning. Be careful headed into Hermitage. Hey, Ripley's is hiring for all 10 attractions. Check them out at ripleys.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
When you needed portable heating, cooling, generators and remediation equipment, contractor tools, or any other equipment or solution to help you get the job done, you trusted Absolute Rental and Supply. Now that same team brings you more equipment and more solutions as Herc Rentals. From construction and industrial to HVAC and homeowner, Herc Rentals has the gear and expertise to get jobs done efficiently, effectively, and safely. Visit us today at 1325 Main Street in Lebanon or online at hercrentals.com. That's HERCrentals.com.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
A devastating defense that returns 10 of 11 starters.
Jeffrey Simmons!
The King, Derrick Henry, back on the road to punishing defenders.
Derrick Henry just went 60!
All led by the NFL Head Coach of the Year, Mike Vrabel.
Brought to you by Fakes and Hooker, Bates Ford, Steve Mall Plumbing, The Jewelers, and the City of Lebanon Gas in Tennessee. 811, call before you dig.
This is Wilson County's home for real country music and the Tennessee Titans. Real Country 98.9.
Clouds finally moving out later today, giving us a break from those on and off storms we've been seeing. Expect a high of 84 degrees, dipping to 60 with clear skies overnight. Tomorrow will be all sunshine with another high of 84 coming our way. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number 1 Ned.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2. It is a Wednesday, and at this time each Wednesday we talk about Herc Rental, formerly Absolute Rental and Supply, 1325 West Main in Lebanon. Keith Illey is the man in charge now, but this morning he sent Joshua. Did he call you Josh ever?
Either way, Josh or Joshua. Normally,
All right.
parents
As
call
long
me
as they
Joshua.
call you for supper, right? Joshua Etherly is here to do the commercial this morning. Well, you are Philip's son, and we've talked to Philip for several years here as he come out each Wednesday to tell us about, at then, Absolute Rental. A few changes have taken place, but you're there, and you have gone through the change and seen some things. Of course, Herc is a regional, if not national, outfit, where Phillips was just here. So that changes things a little bit.
It does change things. Going from a smaller company to a national company, there are some changes here and there, but for the most part, we're still the same company that we were before. Still try to have that local feeling to it. And,
Wait, you still have the same telephone number, 615-443-RENT.
Yes, sir.
I think the website has changed, and I'm not sure I even have it here, but you if you do Herc Rental, no doubt you can get there.
You can get there.
Probably HercRental.com, I would guess.
And I'm pretty sure if you were to go to Absolute Rental, there is it'll transfer you over to the correct website, the Herc website.
Okay, well, one of the important things about the telephone number and the online is that that's so many people start there anymore. You want to know what's available and when it's available, and by doing that and using either the telephone or the internet, you can find out. You find out a lot. You're staying busy too, aren't you?
Yeah, we're staying busy. Still got a lot of equipment going on Rent every day. Another thing, touching on what you're talking about on the internet or website, most people today would rather just, I feel like, call in or and if we don't have the equipment available at that time, you could always just call in and reserve it for whenever you needed it. But just having the website and having the technology available to go on there and to see what we rent, and to be able to do all that before you were to call in.
Well, Josh, what are you mainly doing? Are you still doing pretty much what you were doing before?
Basically, I had a little bit more roles before. Now I'm mainly focusing on the counter and also hopefully moving into sales. That would be outside sales is the position I'm going into.
Well, being Philip's son, you're probably almost a natural-born salesperson.
I wouldn't say that. I want to go that far.
Well, he does have a way of winning you to his way of thinking, and I got a feeling you do too. That's part of what sales is.
Yes, sir.
Well, any particular area that you enjoy selling?
It would be here local. Is kind of would be my area here around Lebanon and the surrounding cities, Wilson County.
Well, you still got everything from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers.
Everything from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, and we're getting a lot more equipment in now. We got a lot more access to equipment to bring equipment in from other branches or just to get new inventory. So there is new equipment probably showing up to the store every single day.
Well, another thing, I know Keith has pointed this out several times, if something's not available here, it could be somewhere else, and that's an advantage for the customer.
It is, yeah. Just having the availability or the access to pull from other branches in the area and be able to service the customer when they need it.
And your hours are similar, but maybe slightly different.
They've changed here and there. So through the week, we're open 7 to 5. And then on Saturdays, we're open from 7 to 12.
Anything else you want to tell us this morning?
Right now, it's just prime aerating season. So that's a hot rental item right now. Would be aerating, seeding going into the fall, fertilizer. We have all that at Herc, so nothing's changed. Absolute had that before, and we still continue to have the aerators, the seed, the fertilizer, straw.
And a lot of people do that, and I don't know a lot about it, but you get those aerators. It helps the soil to be right for the grass to grow.
Yeah, it allows oxygen to get into the ground, and also allows the seed to fall into that hole and kind of.
What kind of grass seed you mainly sell?
Mainly, we sell the fescue, and then we also have like a contractor's mix, which is a mix between the fescue and the rye. It's normally you'll see quicker results from the contractor's mix, but then we also have just the straight premium fescue seed.
So, and you have advice to offer, too, if somebody's relatively new at doing that, even as to the piece of equipment they need for what they're going to do, as well as what type of grass seed maybe to sow.
Yes, sir, we do. What might come up best in your area or might come up best for you.
Well, sometimes people will do reseeding and need some straw. Do you usually?
Yeah, and we sell a lot of straw. Definitely go through a lot of that. A lot of people use that in construction jobs too after new builds. So we definitely sell a lot of that.
Well, you're there for the contractor, and I think you do a lot of work with contractors. There's so much building and landscaping and all of that going on in this area as we continue to grow. Plus,
Yes, sir.
the do-it-yourselfer needs to know all about Herc Rental.
What was the question?
I said the contractor or the do-it-yourselfer. They all need to know what you have to offer.
Yeah, we
And
try to
you're
have
there for them.
We try to have a little bit for everybody and kind of be that store where you can get a variety of different things.
Well, Joshua, thank you so much for being with us today. Joshua Etherly, Herc Rental, 1325 West Main. Again, that phone number, 615-443-RENT. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, we're 21 before the hour. Mayor Rick Bell joins us this morning for Coleman and Company Part 2. Mayor, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
And what do you got to say about UT this morning?
A lot of great things. Well, we got off to a good start last Thursday. I'm not sure how good Ball State was, but Tennessee's offense looked good. And this year this week we get a real test. Go up to Pitt and play them. So that's I think we'll see what we really are this weekend.
Having to go to Pennsylvania is a little bit more, asking a little bit more, I guess, than if you were playing on Rocky Top.
It is. This is the second version of the Johnny Majors Classic because, he was a big part of both schools' football history. And so it should be a good game. Pittsburgh, they had a big win last week against their rival West Virginia. So it's going to be a real test, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, if you win this one, you have to say things are looking up for sure.
Well, it is a big game. I think to have a season a lot of us Tennessee fans hope to have, this is one that Tennessee needs to win. So I'm looking forward to it. Nicole and I we're heading up there this weekend to check it out. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, now every time you come out, I'm not going to talk to you about UT as long as I do with Mike Jennings. He only comes once a month. But we've got the mayor of Lebanon and the mayor of Watertown. You're probably not going to find two bigger UT fans.
Well, yeah, he's of course everybody knows about his record streak of going to games,
Yeah.
but I like to go a lot of them too. And but we're going up this weekend and. Nicole, she has family up there in Pennsylvania, so we're going to visit with them and then go to the football game. And so it'll be a good weekend. But, the main thing is the football game, and we need to win.
All right. We had a city council meeting last night, didn't we?
We did.
I got sent the agenda. I looked at a little of it, but I don't remember what was there. So it's always some things about property rezoning and that kind of stuff.
It is. There was one rezoning down on Highway 109 in that 70-109 kind of intersection there. It's a piece of property that's pretty large tract in that sort of northeast corner of that's been industrial for a long, long time, and they bought some property to be able to connect a road over onto Highway 109, and so that was annexed in last night. So that was really the big one when it comes to that.
So that means Lebanon's grown a little.
It has just a little this time, not much, just a little, just so they could get to the highway. That's really what it was. But that did happen, and there was a lot of business cleanup last night as far as so we're still winding up the last fiscal year with a few things, and there were some different things going on as far as some repairs over at the Jimmy Floyd Center and stuff like that. I think the one big thing last night though that's really affects people throughout the city and they're going to see over the next several weeks is we did have second reading to approve our street paving contract and street striping contract this year. So, we have a list of areas and they'd be paved and they'd be striped. And so as people drive around town over the next several weeks, they'll probably see that activity going on.
Well, I understand each city councilman gets to at least have a lot of input on the streets in their particular ward that's going to be paved, and I guess that's a good thing because they kind of look after their own territory here.
It is, and so every counselor gets to talk to the engineering department. Regina Santana, she oversees this, and talk to her about what they would like to see in their wards. And then she has a list too of things that they've identified as places that really need paving as well. So, she takes all the information and she puts a list together.
But you do have a budget, and it's just so much, I guess, you can do as general rule. Right?
That's right. The budget that we passed last night is $1.9 million to get this done. And so, we can't do it all. So we do what's at the top of the list, and, for her and for the counselors, and then we go from there.
Well, it was not too long ago that my street, Vosswood Drive, got paved after so long a time. little short, but I still appreciate that. Looks so much better.
It does.
Drives so much better.
Well, that's the thing about paving is that, is obviously it needs to be done because of, of travel, make it smoother, but also it just looks better, to have fresh asphalt down.
But it is a good thing. You have a recurring thing here. You hopefully don't let any of them, as we say, go to pot, just totally neglect, but the ones that need it the most hopefully get it, and you do this every year, so we try to stay up to date.
Yeah, we do. We stay up to date on it. And speaking of that too, our roads, people ask me all the time about our roads, because we have more traffic now and about infrastructure. And Kristen Rice is our traffic engineer, and I was up in her office the other day, and she has a big map on her wall of all things that are going on, and she actually has over 40 projects on her board that are in different phases. Now, a lot of these are TDOT projects, on the roads that they oversee. A lot of them are paid for by developers that are coming in, and they're from from traffic signals on up to widening of streets and turn lanes and all sorts of things. But it's really interesting to go in her office and see what she's working on, because we get that question all the time. What are we doing about traffic? Well, she's doing something every day, and so I just want people to know that it's there are a lot of projects out there that are they're in the queue getting ready to happen, and it's something that we constantly work on.
Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell is with us. It's time for us to take a break here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And at 7:45, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota, Red Max, complete inventory, weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. An accident in Dixon County getting some attention. 5700 block of Highway 48 North. Again, that's in Dixon County. I'm looking at a crash on 40 eastbound here at Charlotte Pike. It's got traffic slow now between OHB and Charlotte Pike on 40 going eastbound. With a huge demand for dental assistants, Dental Staff School will help you get a job as a dental assistant. Google Dental Staff School. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Cumberland University football is back in action September 17th as the Phoenix travel to Pikeville, Kentucky to take on the University of Pikeville. This is Christian Capozzi of the Cumberland Sports Network inviting you to join Bob Lee and myself. September 17th, pregame coverage begins at 1:30 leading up to a 2 o'clock kickoff right here on WANT and WCOR. The U-Pike Bears and the Cumberland Phoenix matchup September 17th, 2 o'clock here on WANT and WCOR.
Drug Free Wilco brings Dope Sick, the book and Hulu series, to the Capitol Theater on Thursday, September 8th at 6:30 p.m. We invite the public to come and learn more about the opioid crisis from moderator Carrie Sharp from News Channel 5, Dr. Stephen Lloyd, the doctor portrayed by Michael Keaton, Beth Macy, the author of Dope Sick, TBI Director David Roush and Terrence Sloss, Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services. Tickets are available on Eventbrite or Drug Free Wilco's website and Facebook page.
Register now for Sherry's Run 5K Run Walk to benefit Sherry's Hope. The 5K event is Saturday, September 10th, beginning at 8 a.m. at 623 West Main Street in Lebanon. Register at sherrysrun.org. Come run or walk and show your support for those in our community who are battling cancer. Events include the 5K Run Walk, a silent auction, live music, and more. Register now at sherrysrun.org and don't miss the Sherry's Run 5K on Saturday, September 10th.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us, and our thanks to Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell for not only being here today, but after each city council meeting, unless very rarely since you've been mayor that you hadn't been out here, and we appreciate that. Back to last night's meeting, anything else we need to discuss?
I think one other thing that does affect a lot of people that we talked about last night. Last week, Patty at the Senior Center, she asked Jeff Baines and I to come out visit with her one morning and really look at the HVAC system. That's something that's been a problem for a long time now. You go over there all the time, and it's humid in there, and there's a lot of issues with that system, and that's really been going on, I think, since the addition was made to the senior center several years ago. I just don't think it's ever been done right. So last night we put in front of the city council. Actually, it was a drop-in, but we put in front of city council to go over there and actually get that HVAC system worked on, get it replaced, whatever we have to make that work, because the senior center is an important place for a lot of people in our community, and it just needs to be right. And so last night we decided to go ahead and put the money aside to make it right and get it working. So that was something that was big on our agenda last night, I feel, because so many people go to the senior citizen center and it affects a lot of people, and so many people enjoy it, and we want to make sure that it's comfortable, when people sit there eating or playing cornhole. So that was on the agenda last night, and I think that was a big deal.
All right. How much money is it going to take? We
budgeted about $100,000 for it.
Yeah.
So it's it's going to be a real project. It's something that I think through the years we've tried to put Band-Aids on it, try to fix it in different ways, but I really think this is just time to get in there and dig around and get it fixed.
Well, Patty will have a smile on her face today. Probably had one last night.
I think she probably did. Yeah, she was smiling a lot when we were out there last week as well. Showing us around. So, but again, that's an important facility, and we got to make sure it's right.
All right. What else we need to talk about?
Well, there's been several things happen since I was last out here. It's been a while, but we've had some ribbon cuttings I think are going to be important for the future. One of which was Thermo Fisher. Thermo Fisher is out at the Speedway at the industrial park that's been built out there. And Thermo Fisher is a company that makes bags that carry medicines, liquids and things like that. So it's a very high tech kind of a business, and they had a ribbon cutting. The governor was there. Our 2 U.S. senators were there as well. They all got up and made comments, but they when they're fully operational, they expect to have 1,400 people working there. So that's going to be a big operation. It's a manufacturing operation, which
How
is
long
something that's
before
important.
they have 1,400?
Oh, that's a good question. Right now they have they don't have that. They have basically one assembly line going, but eventually they're gonna fill up that building. And
that's a lot of workforce. That's a big workforce.
It really is. It really is. And of course, they're out there, but they're part of Lebanon. That's our sewer out there. That they operate off of. So we're going to claim that one. And then also we had another ribbon cutting here in town, Tritium, which is an Australian-based company, and they make chargers for electric vehicles. They have moved into the old Toshiba facility over in the Baird Industrial Park, and they had a really big celebration. They had their CEO and some other people from Australia who flew in to take part in this. And also the Australian ambassador to the United States, he came to that. So I was joking with Melanie Mentor. That's the first time I ever met an ambassador that was not part of the Chamber of Commerce. So so that was very interesting to meet him and talk to him. And
well, it's interesting to me that Australia would come here to do something.
And and it's really important because this is manufacturing. It's also a high tech industry as well. And I think it's the wave of the future too. I mean, because we're going that direction more and more with electric vehicles. So it's something that I hope draws more here. As far as support industries or more things like that. But it is an Australian-based company. They picked Lebanon. But the thing that I really like about it is, they're not at the racetrack. They're now on 840. They chose to come to Lebanon proper, the heart of the city, a building that was empty, and a building that that employed a lot of people here for a lot of years, and now that building is back up doing that again, and I really appreciate that. So they plan on having 1,000 employees at their facility once they're up and running. Like Thermo Fisher, they have one assembly line operating now. We got to tour that. It's really interesting to see how they operate. But eventually they'll fill that building as well. So, that's something we're really proud of to get them here.
No doubt. What about the former TRW building. You working on that?
We are. That's interesting because that building is owned partly by us, the city, and partly by ZF, which is the company that just moved out of there. And so I'm not sure how that happened. I think what happened was years ago, back when the TRW building was first, was Ross Gear, back years ago. When that building was first built, I think, the city owned the property and owned the building. And then I think at some point the building was expanded, and that expansion was owned by the private entity. And now we have one building that's owned by two different people. So right now we're getting their section appraised. And once we do that, what I would like to see happen is us as a city buy their part of the building because they're gone. And that way we can do something with that property or do something with that building.
You pretty much stymied until then?
We are. Yeah, we are. There's really not much we can do with half a building, but we're working on it. And as soon as we can get that appraisal and get something worked out with them, we'll put that in front of council because it's really important that we own it.
Well, if that works out, I mean, I would think as far as in industry goes in a place that would be a desirable place for somebody.
There's calls all the time. We get calls. When I've even been out to dinner here in town and somebody asked me about it and say, hey, I know somebody who's interested in that building. GC Hickson at the JCDB, he gets calls a lot about it. So it's a building that is high on people's radar. We just have to get this worked out before we can do anything with it.
But I mean, you've got so much parking area.
Oh
there.
yes,
you've got a pretty good sized building.
Well, and I didn't realize how big it was until we went through it a few months ago and walked around. It's a big building, and it employed a lot of people.
And if you had that full of people working,
yeah,
another great contribution to the to the economy.
And you remember, when that parking lot was full,
absolutely,
all the time. And a lot of people working that building, and really at the end, not that many people work there, but I think we can get it back to that as soon as we can get this deal done. As I said, a lot of people are looking at it. It's a big building. It's an old building, but as far as structurally, it's very sound. The roof, probably needs some work done to it, but we're excited about, gaining ownership of it and doing something really valuable with it.
Well, we've covered a lot of territory this morning, but I don't think we've got all your notes there.
Well, there's just a couple more things. Some things coming up. Sherry's Run is coming up this weekend. That's obviously a big event that happens every year, and I know a lot of people are involved. So, I just want to tell people that, if you want to go out there and be involved in it, it's a great organization. It does great work here in the community. But I also want to let people know that on Saturday morning, the West Main is going to be blocked for a while as people walk and run, and our police department, they'll be out there, handling traffic. So just know that's coming up. But that's, again, Sherry's Run. We can't say enough about that.
And a good thing, too, it doesn't last very long. I mean, in 4 hours or so, 4 or 5 hours, it's all over.
Yeah, it is. And, it's in a part of the day where, on Saturday morning where there's not much traffic anyway. And then coming up, the city, we have an event that I want to talk about. October 30th, we're having Halloween on the Square, which we do every year, and so we set up candy stations around the square, and kids come out in their costumes and trick or treat. So it's several weeks away, but the reason I want to announce it today is if there's a business out there or an organization that wants to come down and pass out candy, just contact my office or contact the Chamber of Commerce, and we'll be happy to get you set up because this is really great for the kids. They always have a good time. They come out and dress up. Our police department will be there, giving away hot dogs, and we'll have the square blocked off from traffic. It's on a Sunday afternoon this year, the day before Halloween, and it's just great to have kids just run around out there and play games and get candy and stuff. So if you're out there and you want to be part of that, please reach out and let us know.
All right, we got 2.5 minutes left, Mayor Rick Bell.
Well, there's a couple other things. This past Saturday, I went up and watched the Coleman football game, and it was a win, and a lot of people had a good time watching that. It was delayed for a while, but once that happened, they started playing. But as I was watching and other people watching, it's hard to realize that later that night there are going to be a few players that are going to be in a wreck, and that was a wreck that caused the death of a former player and injuries to current players. And as being someone who worked at Cumberland, it's a tight-knit community there. Everyone knows everyone, even former students, and I know the Cumberland community is broken right now because of that, and I just want to send my prayers out to them because to have something like that happen, it's truly a tragedy. And to have a game that afternoon where everybody's having fun and enjoying a win, and then have something like that happen that night. So we're just praying for all the families involved and the players involved, and for the Cumberland, the entire Cumberland community.
Yeah, I think Ron Pavin has been hit really hard with this.
He has, and Ron does a great job. I've worked closely with him and as athletic director, and he really cares about those student athletes, and I know that he's really hit hard by this, like everyone else is.
Well, hopefully the ones that were injured can survive. I don't know whether he'll get to play football again or not, but hopefully he can. And
yeah,
it's a tragedy, but it's something that it does happen from time to time, and we have to deal with it. But we sure hate to hear about those things.
Yeah, especially young people like that. But as I said, there's one person was killed in the wreck, and some others were injured, and it's just there's a lot of families out there going through some really hard times right now.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully September is going to go well for the city of Lebanon. You get the paving started, and some more people are going to be happy to have a new road in front of their house.
Absolutely. There's a lot going on. There always is, and we're looking forward to this month, but also in the months ahead, and we always have something to talk about. That's
we'll
something.
See you in 2 weeks. Thanks so much.
All right.
Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell, that's it for a Wednesday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow. Till then, I wish you a wonderful day.